Welcome back to the League Mates podcast. It's your second-ish favorite host, Chewy.
It's probably your favorite host, John.
It's for sure your favorite host, Logan. What's up, guys?
Oh, same shit, different day.
Yeah,
Yeah, just hanging out.
I
Trying
don't
to
know
say
if you can
what?
hear that, but oh shit, I just ripped my notes.
great start.
Um, well, I got some notes from some things that happened across the league.
Whoa.
Um, this is not going to be news to anybody at this point, but Ben Johnson hired as the Bears head coach. How
Officially.
many head coaches is that in your lifetime for the Bears, Logan?
About 5,600, give or take.
I'm gonna go ahead and take
Okay.
or give. I don't know. I don't know how that saying works. Um, I
I
at
think we're
work
missing a big
watched.
point here.
What's that?
Well, since it's been a while, there is one very important thing we should cover before we get into our NFL stuff, in my opinion. And that is the fact that Ohio State are, in fact, national champions. Logan, how do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah.
Such a Logan answer.
Yeah, dude, come on. Give me something here.
Hang on. Before you say anything, I'm gonna go take a Notre Dame.
Ouch.
Funny. Yep, they won. And that's that.
No
Congratulations.
comments on the game?
Nope. Nope. Congratulations to my buddy whose team won.
So I do have
Uh,
one question that go ahead. I'll let you finish.
the defense just wasn't ready for the offense. And by the offense, I mean Jeremiah Smith. And that's it.
Quinshon Judkins.
No, Jeremiah Smith lost us the game.
Will Howard.
Nah,
Yeah, he kind of threw the ball. What
because
about Ohio State's defense?
Ohio State's defense showed up, but 21 unanswered in the second half. The comeback was happening, and Jeremiah
Killed
You know
Smith,
you're not gonna sit here and try and say that Ohio State defense didn't show up.
I I believe I started that sentence by saying they showed up.
Mm, to take.
No, that's what he said. That's what I heard anyways.
I
I
100%
I
started
get
that
that
way.
back on that one, Logan. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
All
what he
right.
said.
All right.
true. The big boy natty teams are talking here. Thank you. Anyway, uh, yeah, that's just it is what it is.
How many national
I just
championship wins does Notre Dame have?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I'll wait. You have Google.
I just have one question and we can move on from this. I was gonna ask you right after it happened, but you didn't answer my phone call. Very rude, by the way. You can ask Chewy. I don't call people. You should have felt privileged. Um, when Chewy calls me, even sometimes I watch it ring and then text him. But how's it feel to watch not only the Bears double doink to lose a playoff game or the chance to go to the playoffs, and then watch Notre Dame doink to lose a national championship?
That's tough.
Uh, that missed kick had nothing to do with the loss.
So you're telling me if that kick wasn't doinked, it could have either missed or it could have went through the French fries. But he doinked it. You're saying that had nothing to do with the morale of the team.
Yes, I am.
Okay. You know that team better than I do? I
They
don't agree personally because if I were on that team, that would have definitely rattled me a little bit.
maybe at the time, sure, but then their defense stopping Ohio State from scoring on multiple drives, and then the offense scoring on multiple drives, and then the morale to the team was killed when Jeremiah Smith wasn't covered, which that one play lost the game. That's what killed it. That's the game. That was it. There was no,
I did agree with you.
there was nothing in between. There was nothing in the, sure, we were down a lot going into half, and then we came back, and we were going to stop again. But Jeremiah Smith not being covered, catching that 50-plus yard pass, that's what killed it. That one play killed the game. If they would have stopped it, we would have got that fourth down stop, and it would have been back on offense, scored again, and then it would have been a very close game.
What if it wasn't 50 yards? What if it was only a first down? They weren't in field goal range after a first down.
If there was, I believe at the time there was maybe 2.5 minutes left on the clock, give or take.
So you're saying Notre Dame's defense wouldn't have stopped Ohio State's offense?
If it was anything less than that, and if it was just a first down catch, they would have stopped it or had the chance to then stop it again. But after it was already downfield, already on the, what was it, the 30-yard line, the 25-yard line, there was no way. There was absolutely no way.
Okay, that's fair.
There's no way we could stop them from getting in the end zone. And then they scored, and then it was still a 2-point game or a 2-score game with a minute left. There's no way.
Did you guys watch Will Howard on Pat McAfee?
No.
I just listened to the clip, like his whole interview before we jumped on and recorded. He was obviously asked about that play, and he even said, I think I might have underthrew him a little bit because I didn't think he'd be that open or something along those lines. But he admitted to like underthrowing him or it would have been a touchdown.
Probably.
Okay. Moving on. Since the Natty's over, Notre Dame didn't win. Ohio State did. OH.
I-O.
Ben Johnson, yesterday, had his first official press conference as the head coach of the Sit-Town Bears. And I took some notes on it because I got to catch kind of like the last half, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I don't know how long it was exactly.
I'm really excited because I didn't catch any of it. So I think like everything that you're about to say, it's going to be my first time hearing it. I don't know if Logan caught any of it, but
I watched the whole thing.
Well,
thanks.
Logan, you might be able to provide some
Fill us
insight
in
to
on the
things
beginning.
that I wrote down. But what I want to lead with is I think he has a favorite word because I heard it about 4,787 times. And he just kept repeating how they were trying to avoid pitfalls.
Pitfalls.
Why'd you go to Chicago?
That's kind of what I thought, too. Oh, and he was very adamant about hiring an OC and DC that he can trust with experience in the NFL. Sorry, I had to put my notes back together. I couldn't read where the lines went.
I also think I saw that the offensive line coach from Detroit is coming over to Chicago with Ben Johnson.
Yes. Now, if only they could get the offensive line to come over from Detroit.
I lost my notepad.
Did you look underneath of you?
Yeah.
Did you try turning it off and back on
Guess
again?
I'll just start a new one.
Ben Johnson also stated in that press conference that one of his favorite things to do is beat Matt LaFleur. And I think that's
of course, that's what you fucking take away from it.
Yeah, that's all.
Well, then why did he go to Chicago?
Because...
And he actually said beat him twice a year.
And we're going to do exactly that.
Yeah, you said that last year.
I will bet you $100.
Yeah, and we were both,
right
and we
now,
were 50-50.
I will bet you $100 right now that the Bears do not beat the Packers twice.
$50 a game. There it is.
If we would have bet that $20 you offered me before the season started, we would have both broke even. I would have paid you first, and you would have paid me right back. It was just 50-50. And next year is going to not be that way.
18.
next year is going to be.
Also, before the Week 18 game, I tried to bet you money that the Bears weren't going to beat us, and you said no because I don't think we're going to win.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're like, damn, I should have took that bet. But yeah, even when the Bears win, you're still a dumbass. Anyway,
Okay.
on to my next note that I wrote down
Put it
in
on a
hieroglyphics.
t-shirt, man. Holy shit, that was funny.
That would be a really good t-shirt.
I'd wear it.
I would also wear it. Anyway, the next note that I wrote down in question form, not very good in front of the media. He didn't seem like he's done a whole lot of media time. And this is just in my personal opinion, that is certainly not professional. Trying to trade up? No. Probably wasn't meant to say that out loud, or you would have just done it, huh?
Yeah. It's okay.
Anyway,
Oh, I'm good.
but yeah, no, he doesn't. He just kind of seemed awkward and nervous talking to the media and answering all the different questions that they had. And maybe that's just going to Chicago in a kind of aggressive sports media market with a very diehard fan base across all of Chicago sports.
Yeah.
And Detroit, for a long time was hiding. So it would make sense that he's not used to that kind of environment. The next thing that I wrote down, and I'm going to just read these all off in order with which I wrote them down, because that's how they came to my brain.
Okay.
That's good.
He made a comment. He said somebody had asked him about what he thinks he can do with this team.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me what the reporter's name was. I didn't care about that. He said, no question, the playoffs can happen in 2025. And I laughed, because I don't agree with that. Not to say, well, okay, I shouldn't say it, because anything can happen, and that team has looked better than it has in a long time, regardless of what their record was. And when you have Matt Eberflus as your head coach for any amount of time, it's kind of tough. Saving timeouts that you didn't need to save. Do you think he was really thinking that he could turn his unused timeouts in for bonuses or something?
That was the worst called game I had ever seen in my life.
Until week
From a
18,
coaching
after I watched
standpoint.
Matt
From a
LaFleur
coaching standpoint.
coach the Packers. But
We don't
whatever.
talk about it.
Logan, what do you think about no question? His confidence is admirable, but every Bears head coach has gone in there with some sort of this kind of confidence and then just opened their throat and been shit down.
Yeah. So here's my standpoint. Ben Johnson's going to go in there and he's going to do what he thinks is the best for the team. And he's either going to turn around a broken franchise, which needs to be fixed within before it can be fixed from someone coming in. And he's going to go and he's either going to turn around and they're going to win and they're going to do everything that he says they're going to do. Or they're going to be the exact same franchise that we've all seen for many, many years, and it's blamed on the inside. It's blamed on the owners. It's blamed on the managers. It's blamed on the O-line. It's blamed on everything. It's always been blamed on. And he doesn't lose anything.
It wouldn't be blamed on the O-line if you actually had an O-line worth talking about in a positive light.
If we had an O-line, if we had a good O-line and Caleb had more time in the pocket, last season would be a completely different conversation.
I mean, as much money as those guys are making, I could go out there and put on that performance.
Yeah, for sure.
So, um, yeah, I mean, there's that. Do you have any more comments about the playoff thing? Because I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of work that needs to be done internally before the Bears can show up as a franchise to be feared.
I think the playoffs, as a Chicago Bears fan, 100% go to make it to the fucking playoffs, do whatever you have to do. As a realistic football um connoisseur,
Connoisseur.
there's a
Right.
lot more to do than just hiring a new head coach and within 1 year going from shit to playoffs. But who knows? The Commanders did it. So we'll see.
Okay. First of all, I actually, hold on. You can't just say the Commanders did it because the Commanders did way more than the Bears did.
Yeah, but my point was a franchise, notoriously bad franchise, having a chance at the Super Bowl.
Is that the Commanders changed in one offseason? New owner, which I guess that was a couple years ago now, but a new general manager drafted a franchise quarterback, completely rebuilt that team from the ground up. I mean, like square one. And now look what they're doing. And the Bears, right? The McCaskies still own the Chicago Bears. So, personally, I think that's where you need to start. I don't know um how long they've owned the team, but I think there just needs to be a change there.
Yeah.
There we go. Um, anyway, if that's all we have to talk about for that, I will move on to the next thing that I wrote down in hieroglyphics.
I just had one question for Logan
Oh, yeah.
that I just want to get out of the way before I forget about it. Before we continue with the rest of this presser from Ben Johnson, Logan, as a Bears fan, like when the news broke, how'd you feel? Like, what was your first initial response to it?
Um,
Like, were you excited? Like,
yeah.
hell yeah, this could be the guy, or like, were you like, oh, I don't know, because like your wife is a Detroit fan, so you were a secret Detroit fan. We talked about that. Were you like, hell yeah, my team gets a great offensive coordinator as a head coach, or were you like, Detroit loses a great OC? How'd you feel?
He is. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. He is a good coach. He did a lot of good things for Detroit. Um, Amon-Ra is very sad to see him go, along with, I assume, a lot of other people on that offense. But Amon-Ra is the only one that I've seen speak out about it on his podcast. Yeah, but as far as him going to Chicago as a head coach, I was excited for it. And I don't know if that's excited because I think he will do good things or because anyone would be better than Matt Eberflus. So there's that.
That is true. Um, and I think something that should also be talked about a little bit is even if Ben Johnson goes to, or I guess it's not an if now, once he gets to Chicago, if that franchise inevitably implodes on itself again, um, that dude's got offensive coordinator jobs everywhere. He might not be a head coach, but that dude will never have to worry about a job in his entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean you're not wrong. So anyway, moving on. The next thing I wrote down, he talks funny and has slash a weird mouth. Maybe that's why I noticed. And that could touch back on the whole not being great in front of the media. But I noticed it,
You
and I
might
wanted
have.
to say,
All right, we're gonna give your notes to our editor and have him proofread them before we put them on the show. Please make them legible.
I sent them to the group chat, so
That's why I said please make them legible.
I did. I'm reading them,
Barely.
but I'm reading them.
Logan, you want to weigh in on this?
No.
So you're...
All right.
He noticed it. He just doesn't want to talk about it. What is at facility? Oh, A+ facility. BJ's words, not mine. That's what I wrote down verbatim. Somebody had asked him what he thought upon entering the facilities. I don't know how I feel about that because, well, one, I've never actually seen the Bears facilities.
There's just a smell that comes from it that I just can't get close to. It doesn't work for me. I can't even get close to Soldier Field.
I wouldn't want to. Well, that's not true because I still want to do my stadiums tour and attend every NFL stadium for a regular season or postseason game.
That one's last on the list, though.
But
that one's number 32.
No, it's probably sooner just because of travel distance. But if I skip it for a really long time until the end, I'm not going to be mad about it. I had some closing notes after that, unless anybody else has anything to say about their facilities.
I don't know. I've never been there.
Logan? I've never heard good things about them either.
There's a lot of history there, and you can't discredit that.
Okay. You could say the same about Lambeau, but
was that in
they
this
still
conversation?
built newer facilities. All I'm saying is I've never heard such praise for Chicago's facilities until now. I can't say that I've heard bad things about their facilities, but I've never heard them described as A+ facilities either.
Because it's not.
Well, your head coach seems to think so.
It's his job to think so.
No, it's his job to fucking whip that team into shape.
It's his job to be there for the team, and shit talking the facilities is not going to be on his list of things to do.
I mean, you don't have to shit talk
That's a
the
good point.
facilities. And I'm not saying that he should. And I'm not saying that he's wrong either. I want that to be clear.
You're talking like a real Packers fan right now.
I would want nothing less than that.
I mean, come on.
That is a good thing. Oh no, I'm talking like a 4-time Super Bowl champion fan. Oh no. All I'm saying though is as the head coach, he should be completely honest. And if they're not A+ facilities, even if they're just A- facilities, so like, all right, let me start from the top on that. If they're like A- facilities, then no, you don't necessarily need to like, try and go in there and make any sort of changes to the facilities or upgrades or anything like that. But if they're not up to an A+ standard or to a minimum set standard, then that's something that he would want to talk to the owners about. My question there is, did he actually walk through all of the facilities and see everything? Or does he truthfully feel that way about them? And that's not a question that I can get answered anytime soon. I'm just saying these are the thoughts that go through my head. And potential concerns with him at head coach.
You have to think that he came from Detroit, a division rival. And then to go back on your point to say that stuff about the Bears or the facilities, it's kind of like if he felt this way, I don't really know what I'm trying to get at other than just kind of it's sus, Like,
I might be able to help you out a little bit on this. And if that's how he feels about the facilities, then why didn't he take the job last year?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he's wrong for passing on the job last year either. If he wasn't ready, then I applaud him for not taking it until this year.
Right.
That takes a lot of restraint, especially for somebody who's being offered a lot of money to come be the new face of the team in a staff standpoint, I guess. Again, these are questions we won't get answered until we kind of see what goes on this offseason and what
Right.
sort of reports we start getting from the beat reporters and stuff like that, which we're not even done with this season yet. So it's going to be a long summer, boys.
I'm excited for it.
I am too. All right, my closing notes on the presser. Um, Myself, I'm not super confident in BJ as head coach. That is subject to change. We have the off season, the preseason, all of that stuff to see what happens. The draft come in April. I have faith in Ben Johnson as a coach. I don't know how I feel about him as the head coach of the Bears, and that's uh, two factors there. One being just the way that I didn't feel he was super confident in his answers talking to the media. It almost felt scripted, but whatever. Two, it's the fucking Bears, and the McCaskey's still on it. Not to say
That's
that it
my
can't get
biggest
better,
thing. Go ahead.
but it's not to say that it can't get better, but
I
I don't know.
I just don't think it will. Like they've showed several times that like the ownership is still the ownership. Obviously, they have their hands in things. You know what I mean? It's just
Matt
like
Nagy is a
Jerry
really
Jones in
good point.
Dallas.
Sorry, yeah, I agree with that also.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think that it'll all come together or it all won't, and we'll see in the upcoming months.
That we will. That's the end of the stuff about the presser. I have okay. I'm gonna talk two GM things here real fast. Just get them out there. The Raiders are expected to hire Bucks assistant general manager John Spytek. You tell me how to say it. I don't. Whatever. As their new general manager. And the Jags fire Trent Baalke as GM, Ethan Waugh to serve as interim. Which I don't know why they would have an interim if they have somebody in mind. And I know that they've been,
Definitely still hire somebody.
yeah, and there's plenty of GMs that have hit the market and that are also, not necessarily free agent general managers right now that could do the job and do it better than Balky has. So at that point, why not just sign Mr. Waugh as your general manager? But it's Jacksonville. It's Jacksonville, and it's another one of those, in my opinion, poverty franchises that just continues to shit on themselves or fart on their balls, as John likes to say.
um, every now and then. You want to talk about Robert Saleh going to San Fran as the DC?
Uh, Next. First, I want to talk about Aaron Glenn, the other
Another great
Lions
point.
coordinator that is now a head coach. Because I have two kind of points here. One, when are the Jets going to stop hiring defensive-minded guys to coach a team that needs the most work on offense? And two, are the Lions cooked?
With that roster, I really don't think so. And Dan Campbell's still the head coach. And regardless of his coordinators, Dan Campbell is a leader of men. And I really think Detroit is in a position to do what they did this year for a long time.
While I don't disagree with most of what you're saying, I think the OC and the DC play a big role there, and whoever they do sign to fill those roles could be extremely influential in either the continued success of that team or the ultimate downfall. And that's not to throw shade against Dan Campbell because what he's done there has been absolutely incredible. And without Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson nor Aaron Glenn have head coaching jobs right now. And if they do, nobody's near as excited as they are about them. So I
Yeah,
think
I
there's
see
a
what
lot of
you're getting at.
potential. Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
think there's a
Go
lot
ahead.
of potential for the Lions to continue the success, but again, we'll see. And I also would not be surprised to to see it completely flip on them. Ah, you had a point or something. Okay, Logan. All right, I'm the only host of this podcast left. So, uh, Robert Salah.
I forgot I was muted. I was talking to the boy. Um,
Uh,
that's my fault.
good.
Yeah,
I
no,
can't.
I really think the roster that Detroit has, I think it's going to be hard for any decent or even maybe even a little subpar offensive and defensive coordinator to show up there and have success. Detroit has built a hell of a roster. We're a long way away from paying one guy to be really good for a couple years, like Detroit used to do with Megatron and you know.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Oh, Logan had to go pee.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
am
saw that.
back.
Hey,
Convenient timing.
I'm scrolling through, going through some of the stuff we've shared in the group chat to try and grab some more stuff to talk about here.
While you're doing that, I would like to talk about um back to some college football stuff. Uh, Marcus Freeman uh won the Paul Bear Bryant Coach of the Year award. He also was named the 2024 Dodd Trophy winner. And then Kurt, I'm gonna butcher this last name. Signetti?
Signetti.
Yeah.
Zignetti.
He was he won the 2024 Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award, which was
I did see that.
I think that's pretty
I,
cool.
I think he's the most deserving coach of the award. I mean, what he did with IU is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's unheard of.
Yeah, he was a good coach. And
They definitely don't beat the shit out of top 10 teams though.
It was top 25, but yeah, and not a lot comes up when you Google him. But nonetheless, they still had an amazing season. Um, and I don't know that we see that same level of success out of them. On the flip side of what I just said, if we do see that same level of success, I think they come out with a vengeance and they do beat 1 to 2 top 25 teams.
right.
We can
Um,
see what happens. We got to look at the transfer portal for sure, and we definitely have to keep an eye on who leaves that team if there is anyone that ends up leaving that team.
um, I'll leave that to the two resident college football watchers. I don't watch college football very much because my team is Buns. Although they looked a lot better after starting Lagway than before. So maybe next year we'll get some more college football watch out of me. We'll see.
TBD.
Sure is.
I have a feeling Logan and I are going to do quite a bit of tailgating next year.
I plan on doing some more tailgating, but that could just be because I enjoy drinking and sports.
Yeah, I'll talk shit about sports with anyone.
Absolutely.
I agree. I also want to go to more games next year than I did this year. And by that I mean I went to 0 Notre Dame games this year, and I at least want to go to
Well,
one next year.
you know what?
I
That makes
tailgated
that
a bunch of them.
real easy. I didn't on-site tailgate any, but I did do quite a bit of tailgating this year, just at NFL games, which is a much different beast,
A whole different ball game, literally.
quite literally. Well, no, it's the same ball game. It's the same ball. The NFL's is bigger, and they get paid way more.
Yeah, the NFL's
You
a
used to be
lot
able to
bigger.
just stop that conversation with they get paid, but you know,
Yeah, college is a
publicly
business now too, buddy.
they get publicly paid is what I should say. Well, Johnny Football kind of made quite a bit of money, but that's not important. Um, Fuck, I was gonna say something. I lost it. John, bring up the Robert Saleh thing. I'm blanking.
Yeah, Robert Saleh. We just got an update a little bit ago that Robert Saleh signed a deal with San Francisco to be the new defensive coordinator over there. I think it's for him because as a defensive Saleh, pretty good
You're
at
cutting
that.
out.
Is that better?
I think so.
I was just talking about how Robert Saleh as a defensive coordinator is much better at defensive coordinating than head coaching.
Yeah. At the same time, though, an argument could be made that he was trying to head coach the New York Jets, which is like pretty much a suicide mission. But somebody does inevitably have to do it.
That is true.
It's almost like head coaching the Chicago Bears.
Very bad.
Logan, I feel like you've been really quiet this episode.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
The first 25 minutes of this episode was us talking about the head coaching.
You might be right, but
Maybe. We're not sure yet.
I actually won't be sure until this episode airs because you're the editor. Pro bono at that.
Not pro bono.
Wait, so okay, hold on. Are you getting paid? Because I'm not.
I'm not either.
You guys are getting fucking paid?
No.
No, that's what we just said.
No, I'm not
So
getting
I'm trying to
paid.
figure out if you're getting paid.
Well,
Well, then it would be pro bono.
I'm not
If
getting
any
paid
of us
in
is getting
cash
paid, I have
money.
a problem with it.
I'm not
Unless
getting
it's
paid
all
in
of us,
cash
and then I
money,
don't have
but
any issues.
I'm definitely
What
taking
do you?
up a.
Huh?
Oh, I'm running up your guys' tabs. You're gonna do some work when we do that birthday episode. You know.
I'll fold your clothes while you're still in them. Okay. Anyway, Al Golden, Cincinnati's new OC, DC, see,
See,
DC.
that's okay. I don't know what that means for them.
I
Can't be worse.
put together a pretty good program there at Notre Dame.
Yeah, number one in the nation in takeaways. Not exactly a small feat when you're competing against like 130 some odd schools.
Yeah, there's a
um,
lot of them there.
yeah, I think that is a good move in his career. Um,
We'll see. I mean, there's still time for it to not be that.
well, that goes for anything.
It's good for his wallet. We know that much.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair statement right there.
I mean, if you disagreed with it, I'd tell you to. Never mind. Inside thought.
Inside thoughts. He's learning, guys.
Inside thoughts. Let's not jump the gun.
Joey, I'm very proud of you.
Don't be. I just work here for free.
For free, yes. We have
Yeah, no, don't finish your thought or anything.
Yeah, I lost what I was gonna say. I got really distracted.
Clearly,
Anyway, let's move on.
that's the idea.
We, as a podcast and as a friend group who likes to participate in fantasy football, have kind of came up with a little fun idea about starting to engage some listeners into a potential future fantasy team for this upcoming season. And I feel like if we find the right way to go about it, it would be really, really cool to just have us involved in something like that and have our listeners to engage more. And it would be like conversation topics for the podcast that we're all in a fantasy league together with some viewers. And if that's something that you guys are interested in, please feel free to reach out and express your feelings on that. And there will be some more stuff leading up to then. But right now, it's just kind of like if that's just an idea we're just throwing around. And we'll find out later on if it works or not. But if that's something you guys are interested in, feel free to reach out and we'll have some polls on the social media
Might
about
not
it.
be
And
polls, but there will be some more discussions closer to the start of fantasy season, and we're gonna explore different avenues of how to get you guys involved in the fantasy side of things for us. Um, so just stay tuned, keep listening, and yeah, uh, as we get closer to the upcoming 2025 fantasy football season, there will be much more information regarding our fan league.
yeah,
There
but as
is
of
also talks. Go ahead, Logan.
oh, I was just gonna say, but as of now, we're kind of trying to gauge everything and see if that's something that anyone even interested in. But there'll be more information later on.
There is also talks of a dynasty league that we are trying to put together, and I think that would be fun to kind of carry on. Maybe even if we get to that point where if we ever have enough time, we could do two podcasts, do a dynasty podcast, and then this one.
I don't see an issue with that.
That would be pretty cool.
I think we got a
But
lot of stuff to figure out before then, but
we also have to take into consideration that if we do a dynasty podcast, we're gonna have to make it entertaining as well as kind of conservative because we're all in the league together.
yeah, that's valid. Logan makes some very good points.
Yeah, I can make a better one. I was in 5 leagues this year,
I was
and
in
in 4
6.
of them, Chewy was in. So by the third draft, guess whose strategy was shot to hell because Chewy knew exactly what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
guess who picked in front of John in that third draft? You know how many
And the
fuck you
fourth.
Chewy?
And the
You know how many?
fourth.
You know how many fuck you Chewy texts I got? Oh man,
you know what's funny
I
about
got
it?
a phone call.
It's John and I just found out, was it last week, that this whole fantasy season, so this last season was my first ever um football fantasy ever. And come to find out,
Good call.
Yeah, that was very backward.
I don't,
Move on.
Yeah,
whatever,
that's hurt here.
whatever. We found out that John and I were listening to the same podcast all season long, and he was wondering why I wasn't accepting trade offers from him, and then we both found out why that happened.
A lot made sense really fast.
You know what's funny about that? Well, I guess not about that, but about fantasy football with John in general is I didn't listen to the same podcast. Well, I guess I might have, but I doubt it. But I John would send me off the wall trades, and then I would decline it, and he'd be like, "Oh, come on, man!" And it's like, "What do you mean? Oh, come on, man!" Like, no, I'm not gonna give you 3-star players for fucking Kyle Pitts.
Okay, that's because I was bored. That had
No,
nothing to do with a podcast. That's because I
that's
wanted to. That's because I was bored.
well, that's fine. I've been doing fantasy football for 10 plus years. Like, It wasn't going to happen. You just still wanted it to.
Yeah,
You
like
called
if
me
it
a
did,
bad
great.
you called me a bad friend for not giving you Sonic and Knuckles.
Sounds like a bad friend to me. I mean,
You're an idiot. Put that on a t-shirt. We
you're
only
an
need to make
idiot.
one. Yeah, we only need to make one. It's for you, John.
You're the way I'm talked to on this podcast.
It's how he
Oh,
talks
I
in
don't
real
want to
life too.
fucking
Don't
hear
feel
it.
bad for him. He's a beast.
The poor Bears fan in a podcast with two Packers fans. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Put that on a
Sorry.
t-shirt.
Hey, you know what? What? That you're a Bears fan and then a sad face?
Shut up, dude.
Just put I'm a Bears fan, sad face. Oh, dude, that'd be a perfect t-shirt. I bet we would sell thousands of them. We can even do them in great colors like green and yellow. Yeah,
Those are not great colors.
says you.
Better than yours.
Those
Yeah.
are the colors of puke.
Oh shit.
Quite literally.
I was gonna argue, but you know what else are the colors of, Logan? Grass and cheese, two things you don't touch.
Why would I touch cheese?
What?
Well, to eat it.
What?
Notice how he didn't question that he doesn't touch grass because he's never touched grass.
You know what? They're also the colors of trash cans.
Yeah, if you get Waste Management, who is a very respectable recycling company. So sorry for worrying about the environment.
You don't give a shit about the environment.
How do you know?
I know.
All right, we've gone off the rails. Somebody talk about football.
We are, technically.
You know what? No, you're talking about Waste Management, a very respectable recycling company, and saying that they're
You
bad.
brought waste management up.
You said they were the colors of trash cans.
Yes.
Waste Management
I hate it
trash
here.
cans.
You are a trash can.
You
Anyway,
can't argue is stupid. They just try and knock you down to their level.
you guys want to get into the playoff picks or divisional picks?
Well, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, let's do that.
I think we should.
Yeah, good idea.
Let's start AFC since we're NFC aligned.
I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page for both these, but we'll see what happens. What you got,
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Well, AFC, we got the Kansas City Nope, we have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Clip
And the Buffalo Bills. Please don't. Please don't.
Flag on the
Kansas
play.
City Chiefs.
Hurt Mahomes'
Buffalo
feelings.
Bills. All right. Anyway, we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I'm not a Kansas City fan, right? I don't want them to win another Super Bowl. I don't want them to three-peat. I don't want Taylor Swift to run the NFL. Stick to music, sweetheart. You are
don't
great
do
at what
that
you
either.
do. Shut up. You are great at what you do, and it is working for you. I can't be mad at you for being a fucking billionaire when I'm, working a 9 to 5. All right?
I wish I only worked 9 to 5.
It's just whatever. My point is, you have no business running the NFL, whether you even have a hand in it or not, like whether you know what's happening. Thank you for bringing viewers. Whatever. But like, when do we call enough enough? I love Josh Allen. He's the hardest quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
I'm clipping that.
Don't. What? I was trying to get a rise out of John. Hey, you know what, Josh? If by some chance you end up seeing this clip, I'll take an autographed jersey or a handshake. I'd be pretty cool with a handshake. Or even better yet, beat John's ass.
You can't.
He can and will.
Oh, God. We're off the rails again.
Yeah, whatever. Also, Josh, go out there, beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, if there's any franchise that's going to lose four super important postseason games, it's going to be the Bills. Don't don't fit the stereotype. You don't have to do that. I know that it happened back in the like 90s or whatever, but it doesn't have to be. Do what you have to do to win the game. With that, give me the Chiefs.
What?
Really?
I want to win, Logan.
I don't have enough respect for this game that we play to pick the Chiefs. Give me the Bills.
Listen, I agree. I want the Bills, clearly. But, you know, sometimes you just you gotta do what hurts.
So,
But
this game I'm pretty excited for, I guess, a little bit. Maybe not. I probably won't watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to watch the refs play football. But with that being said, there's something I really wanted to talk about, and that's Patrick Mahomes' flop last week.
Yeah, dude.
You
that was
cannot be the face of football and do that. Like, absolutely 100% the right thing to do. Like, if I was a Chiefs fan, I would be like, hell yeah, go out and get that 15 yards. But I'm not. So to him, or I'm sorry, to me, all he is the face of football. And as the face of the NFL, you can't full-blown soccer flop like that. That's not what this is about.
well, and
So,
another thing, right? Like it's already hard enough for defenses to go out there and avoid taking silly penalties like that. So the flop and the what was it? The slowing up to try and draw the penalty.
or not going down and taking the hit.
Yeah. No, becoming a runner and then also looking for the flag after becoming, the runner.
I'm glad this was brought up because I wasn't going to bring up this next point unless it was being talked about. Mahomes thinks he gets hit hard. The refs thinks Mahomes get hit hard. If he got hit 50% as hard as Brady has been hit, he'd be done. 100% done. He'd be out for the season. And
100%.
Brady talked about that. I'm pretty sure it was either yesterday or 2 days ago. He got asked how he felt about the Chiefs and if they think the games are being called fair. And he said that he doesn't believe that if you're running the ball as a quarterback, you're a ball carrier. You're running the ball. You're going to expect to be hit. And to be able to flop or try to draw the flags is absolute bullshit. And he brought up a point about how he used to get hit so hard. He used to get hit by some of the best defensive players in the league, and he got right back up and did his job. He never tried to. I mean, granted, he's very limited about what he can say, and that's not actually how I think he feels. I think he feels a lot worse about the situation, but isn't going to publicly say anything because of his position in the NFL. But it's just crazy to think that players nowadays have no fucking clue how bad it could be, and then you have people like Mahomes just riding the wave.
Yeah, no. Brady literally talks about in an interview the Super Bowl when they played the Ravens, or any time that they played the Ravens. Excuse me. That 20 and 52 had to be ID'd. Nothing else mattered about what defensive coverage that they were looking at. Fine 52, fine 20. He's not throwing it near 52, and he doesn't want to get hit by, or sorry, backwards. He doesn't want to throw it at 20, and he doesn't want to get hit by 52.
Yeah.
Like that, now Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to ID shit. But in
Yeah.
that same breath, the way that I watched Lamar and Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts and Jane Daniels get hit this last weekend, the people that hit Mahomes, if somebody hit Mahomes like that, they'd be put in jail.
Yeah.
So, not a lot you can really do about it, except Mahomes needs to step up and be the face of this league right now and do what's best for the league, not just what's best for the Chiefs.
Right.
So, John, I missed your pick. Did you pick the Bills or the Chiefs?
I don't want to. I didn't
Pick
pick.
one.
I hope they both lose.
I'm gonna pick for you.
No, because you'll pick wrong.
Well, then pick somebody.
I
I'll
picked
let
the
the
refs.
Bears fan pick for you.
I
Refs.
picked the refs.
I'm putting that down as your official pick.
Do it.
So, in parentheses, I'm gonna put the Chiefs.
Could you also put in parentheses bad football?
No, it's not gonna fit.
Lame. What kind of low budget show are we running here? A pretty low
The
budget
$0
one.
budget. Yeah. So, um, which one of you two idiots wants to pick the? Okay, hang on. I'm yeah.
And we're the idiots. You hear that, Logan? We're the idiots.
I did hear that.
Okay. Heads or tails? One of you say something.
Heads.
Tails.
Okay. If it's heads, Logan, you're kicking us off with the NFC side. If it's tails, John, you're kicking us off with the NFC side. Off. It's tails. John, go ahead and kick it off.
Washington, Philly. What? I have so much to say about this game, but I don't know how to say a lot of it because
You're autistic.
I think Philly's defense is potentially the best defense in the league. They hit on both their rookie corners in Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Their linebacker, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but he plays next to Nakobe Dean, who I think got hurt. I don't know if he's
out.
okay now. He's out. So the guy that was playing next to Nakobe Dean, he emerged as a superstar. But the Commanders have this X factor in Jaden Daniels that just doesn't make sense.
And Terry McLaurin.
He is so composed in the pocket. I don't care who he's throwing the ball to, honestly, at this point. When that ball leaves Jaden Daniels' hands, I am so confident that it's a complete pass. I don't care who's catching the ball. He does have a great contested ball with Terry McLaurin. I will agree with that. Outside of that, when you're on the 50 and it's 1st and 10, I don't care where that ball's going. Jaden Daniels, is going to throw a completion.
Yeah.
Especially with Eckler healthy. He's got his check down back. He's in great shape, in my opinion.
Oh, and Brian Robinson Jr. really came to life in that last game. I mean, he still didn't have like a super spectacular performance, but he looked like he knew how to play football again, which is something that I don't feel like we've really seen much this season. Another notable player in the playoffs, De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, he's kind of emerged as
Quite the playoff
Someone
receiver.
kind of he reminds me a lot of Jamison Williams from Detroit.
Yeah,
He doesn't get a
I'll agree
lot
with
of
that.
targets, but his targets are deep and they're typically touchdowns.
Yeah, no, fuck. I had his stats. I don't know what I did with them. I either wrote them down somewhere or screenshotted them or something, but they're lost in the abyss for the time being. But he's had like five catches for like 90 and a touchdown, and then like four or six or something for like 90 again. But all season long, he didn't get anywhere close to that in the regular season. So to see him come to life in the playoffs is insane. Are you gonna make a pick, John, or
Sorry. I forgot how to drink water.
if it was beer, you wouldn't have had a problem?
It was. Give me Washington.
Okay, Logan, I'm passing this to you. I want to go last.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with everything that was just said. Jane Daniels has an incredibly good amount of awareness. And every time he's in the pocket, he knows right away if he's going to throw it or run it. And either way is a threat to the defense. On the other side of the ball, Jalen Hurts is either going to look to throw it or run it. And 9 times out of 10, he's running it. And that's very predictable. And he's also been playing for a long time. Um, Philly's defense, Philly's defense is pretty good. I mean, that is what it is.
I mean,
But
they don't make it this far in the playoffs without their defense,
yeah,
truthfully.
yeah. And their offense has not looked great in these playoffs this far. But
Not at all. Like even
but
last week, they looked
Saquon looked pretty good.
rough.
yeah, well,
Yeah, you can't deny
That's
that. But
Saquon's team now. It's not.
yeah.
It's no longer Jalen Hurts' team. That's Saquon's team now.
as far as I'm concerned, that's S2K.
Um, but overall, give me the Commanders.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm gonna quote the late great Dan Orlovsky. Neither of those are true. Uh, but he said something about Jaden Daniels that resonated with me, and it made a lot of sense. And that's his pocket piece. He's at peace in the pocket, which is huge, especially for a rookie quarterback. First year in the NFL on a team that at the beginning of the season, well, I won't say nobody, but not a lot of people had a whole lot of faith in. Um, and I can't even say rightfully so because I was talking to my dad before the season started, and I said the two teams in the NFC that I think everybody needs to really pay attention to and watch out for are the Rams and the Commanders. And my dad said, "You're fucking crazy." I said, "You know what? That's fine." But I was right. And I think all of that is accredited to Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn, and everything we've mentioned earlier in this podcast about the Commanders and what they've done to fucking turn this franchise around into a winning franchise.
Yeah,
We can also talk about this VR thing that Jane Daniels is doing and why
Yes,
it's
what do you
not
think about that?
implemented everywhere.
the VR practices.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It is pretty cool. And I
I
won't
haven't
lie.
seen it.
It's he's taking snaps in VR.
Interesting.
It's
and he can take them at like 1.75 speed
yeah, it's pretty
because
badass.
and what's crazy, and I'm quoting another podcast here. Um, what's crazy is no matter like you can play against your own team, but that team is instructed don't touch the quarterback. So to be able to have a way to get some kind of live reps versus a team that's actually trying to beat you is I obviously huge. I mean, we see it. He's a rookie and he's getting ready to play for a chance in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
which takes me
just
to my pick. Uh, Give me the Commanders.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the VR and the virtual reality for implementing that in the sport in the NFL is great. And the fact that it hasn't happened more often is kind of surprising to me. Um, and the same thing goes for
I mean, it's pretty new.
yeah, but iRacing has
LSU
been
has
around
had it for a
forever.
while. LSU has had it for a while from the way Jaden makes it sound.
Some of the best drivers in the world practice on iRacing. It's so similar. It's a 1-to-1 scale of the real thing because of how advanced it gets. It's insane. And I feel like the same thing can happen with the NFL, with football in general. And it's a way for the quarterbacks to get real life snaps in without taking the hits from their practices, from their own team, etc., etc. The future is here, and it's pretty fucking cool.
The future is now, old man. Somebody tell Aaron Rodgers that VR is winning more games than he is.
Somebody buy stock in ayahuasca then.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, um, yeah, no, I think next year we'll probably see quite a few teams implementing this VR practice thing.
Oh, they have to, or
After the
they're
you'll
gonna
Commanders
lose.
go and win the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback.
you'll see me implement it. That shit's sick.
What are you going to practice for?
Nothing. I'm just gonna play football in VR.
All right, that's fair. I can't argue that.
I just did a quick think about it, what you just said right there, and I would love to do that. But if I get winded playing football in VR, I'm gonna feel real bad about myself, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just not gonna do that.
Yeah,
I mean, that could be a nice little like cardio implement.
I I got enough of that at work. When I'm at home, I'm
I
ready to relax.
If you get winded playing VR football, I don't think you love it. That's another thing that I've heard Dana White talk a lot about though is they have it's either boxing or it's just combat sports in general on VR that's really good for uh like a nice cardio exercise to do. And that a lot of MMA guys are implementing that into their trainings
uh,
to simulate the the fucking Christ, Chewy. Um, but to implement the round duration and working on their stamina throughout 5-7 rounds of fights. 12 if you go into boxing.
yeah, yeah. It is. It's it's gonna be huge when more people take a page
Yeah.
out of their books. Can you imagine the older receivers in the league doing that?
No,
Can you imagine
no, I
Larry
cannot.
Fitz doing that?
I can imagine Larry Fitz dusting every single regular human being for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not been that long since he retired.
I'm just saying,
So,
imagine this technology is around when Larry Fitz is a rookie. Marvin Harrison,
D-Hop,
Marvin
Marvin
Harrison Jr.,
Harrison.
baby.
Yeah, maybe.
Malik
That kind of
Neighbors,
brings up
there's a
that kind of
chance.
brings up a conversation. What does Arizona do in the upcoming draft? Do they look
Well,
for a
you're not taking
quarterback?
a quarterback. They paid Kyler. You can't.
I mean, you can.
Not smart. They won't.
I didn't say it was smart. I just said that they can. Or do they try and actually build around Kyler?
I don't know. If I'm Arizona, I paid Kyler, so I'm stuck. In my mind, I'm stuck paying him. James Conner's old and gets hurt all the time. Oh, but he just
That's
got paid too, didn't he?
yes,
I think
maybe.
he just signed an extension. So
James
maybe,
Conner is very reliable. Like, yes, he gets hurt semi-frequently, but it's
you
still
know, he has
not that
never
bad.
completed. He has never played a full season.
I did not
Every
know
year
that, but
since his
it
rookie
makes
year, he has
sense.
gotten hurt and not played a full season.
That actually makes a lot of sense. He's a fantasy demon. I know that.
Until he gets hurt.
Well, I mean, even still, I mean, if you're talking league wide or season long,
Look, if I'm a franchise and this guy can't has no proof, literally no proof that he can complete an entire season, I'm going to look for somebody to replace him in the draft. I paid him to keep him around because you're right, he is reliable. I agree with that. He is very good at football. I agree with that, but he can't stay healthy. So for a team to have to rely on somebody that's unreliable, that sucks. Look at Green Bay and Marshawn Lloyd this year. We drafted this kid, and I don't think he played it down all year. And we
he did
spent a
not.
second
He was
second round
ruled
pick on
out
him.
for the season. Yeah, but there's still a lot more upside for somebody as young as Marshawn Lloyd as compared to 97-year-old James Conner.
Right, but what I'm saying is they know they can get some weeks out of James Conner. What if they go and spend up? Who's the top uh, running back prospect right now?
Genty,
Maybe not
probably.
top. Uh, Genty, yeah, I guess Quinshawn, Travion, Henderson,
Did
but
both
any one of these
did both
guys, because
Henderson and Judkins declare?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I assume
Travion's a
Judkins
senior.
would.
Travion's a senior. Quinshon's a
Yeah,
junior.
no, you're
He
right.
has one
You're
more
right.
year, so I don't know, but he probably declared for the draft. If I were him, I would, especially after he played in the national championship game.
And won it. Can't
Yeah,
forget that part.
showing he was more than just a power back too.
Yeah, no, he's so fast.
But regardless of whoever it is, any one of these guys as a rookie could first play of a preseason game. I don't wish this on anyone, but tear an ACL. Like injuries happen.
Yeah.
So for
Jonathan Brooks.
there you go, perfect example. Thank you.
Jonathan Brooks played what? Two games all season long and then
Exactly.
got sent right back to IR. But he's supposed to be this fucking football god in the backfield. Well, we got to wait a whole fucking year to find out.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. He may never play another down of NFL football in his whole
Yeah,
fucking life.
'cause Hubbard got paid.
Yeah,
Hubbard
he
got
did.
paid.
He almost led
Hubbard
me to the
earned it.
championship, but I got week 18.
Juba earned it.
Yeah, for sure.
Who else got paid this year? Another running back got paid.
He was great on my fantasy team.
Josh Jacobs is going to get paid.
Yeah, but he signed. What was his deal with Green Bay coming over?
So it was a 4-year deal where this year was kind of like a prove it deal, and then the next 3 years are like he's going to get paid like Saquon is. From the way I understood it, I don't know if it's exact, but he's going to make his money. He'll be all right.
Okay, well, good. Um, Logan, how we doing on time?
About an hour 20.
Well, I don't feel like I have any real closing notes for today's episode. I think we did. I think we went really well into depth. And I'm happy to end it there.
I have a couple of things.
Oh,
If
Jesus.
y'all don't mind to
Oh,
listen.
fuck. I had
It's
a hot
literally,
take and I don't remember what it was.
oh, well, maybe you'll remember it while I'm talking. Good thing I had something to close with.
Yeah, sorry.
Um, uh, like it, like Logan mentioned earlier, when the season comes back around, this podcast is going to move more towards fantasy football than it is news and notes and stuff like that. Um, I think we're going to do a couple polls. We're going to do a listener league dynasty poll and a listener league just redraft poll. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, I'm sure we'll put it everywhere we need to put it so you guys have access to that. I think it'll be fun. I'll commission both those if neither of you want to do it, or if we want to
I'm
split
not
it.
commissioning a league next year. I'll co-commish
God.
on like a listener league. Don't you
It's only because you know why. We're not going to bring it up, but you know why.
eat my dick.
No.
I have a fun nerd stat, and it's also an NFL stat. Well, not really a stat, but news. Titans tight end Chig
Chigakonkwo.
Okonkwo. Thank you. I was gonna try and say his first name, but I'm not gonna do that.
Nope,
He maxed out
Chigakonkwo.
Chig Okonkwo. He maxed out his old school RuneScape account.
Sick.
Yeah.
He might have a spot on my fantasy bench next year just for that. I miss that.
No, he won't. But he
No, he
will get an honorable mention.
So it is. But yeah, if you guys are interested, if you made it this far at this point, honestly, you guys probably just get a free pass in if you use the code word um Buckeyes. You
No,
just get a free
no,
pass
No.
into the league.
absolutely not.
What about
Absolutely
mates?
not.
M8S. Mates.
No. Here's what I'm thinking. Well, I won't say no.
Yeah, so with all that being said, we're going to come up with something to implement some of the fantasy football into the podcast. But until we figure out the details of that, which we'll keep you as updated as soon as we're smart enough to do it.
Great, they're never going to figure it out.
Yeah, overall, I don't know if I have any closing notes. I think we went pretty well in depth, like Chewy said. And again, thank you guys for listening. All the support is very much appreciated.
And if you're not
And
supporting us, figure it out, bud.
yeah, figure it out, bud.
Just figure it out, bud.
I love you.
Just guys being dudes.
Just guys.
Dudes being guys.
Fucking
I hate you for that.
Fucking Packers fans, give your balls a tug.